Hi, I'm Morgan H. Collins, founder and CEO of Valley Ventures. Over the course of my career, I've worked across Fortune 500 companies, private equity-backed businesses, and founder-led organizations, leading growth initiatives, scaling revenue operations, and helping companies navigate transformation during critical moments of growth. From my time at AT&T to advising executives, boards, and investors today, one thing has become very clear. Leadership has to evolve as the business evolves. The mindset and operating style that helped build a company in one stage often won't be the same approach that's needed in the next. Today, I'd like to share 4 leadership shifts that become essential as organizations grow and scale. Shift 1 is about early stage leadership. It's all about speed and conviction. In the early stages of growth, leaders are often operating with limited data, limited resources, and constant uncertainty, not just about their business, but about market fit, product fit, and where they are. At that point, leadership is less about perfection and more about momentum. Founders and executives have to make decisions quickly. They have to create a clear vision and communicate it well. And they have to create alignment around priorities. Their teams are looking for confidence and direction, even when the path isn't fully defined. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see is leaders trying to over-engineer processes too early in their growth. In the beginning, agility is your advantage. The focus has to be on learning fast, staying close to your customers, and building those repeatable wins. The leaders who succeed at this stage are the ones who can balance urgency with clarity. Shift 2. Growth requires structure, accountability, and operational discipline. As companies scale, complexity increases. There's more employees, more customers, more systems, and ultimately more risk. This is where leadership has to transition from being highly reactive to becoming operationally intentional. At this stage, strong leaders begin building scalable operating models. They also establish accountability frameworks, improve their cross-functional alignment, and create systems that allow businesses to grow without losing efficiency. This is also where many organizations hit friction, because what worked with 20 employees may not work with 200. Leaders need to evolve from being the person making every decision to becoming the person that builds leaders around them. That means delegating effectively, empowering teams, and creating clarity around execution. Growth without operational discipline will create instability. Sustainable growth comes from that alignment, structure, and execution. Shift 3. Mature leadership is about enterprise value and strategic thinking. As organizations become more established, leadership has to shift again. Now the conversation becomes less about short-term growth and more about enterprise value creation. Leaders must think beyond quarterly performance and focus on long-term positioning. That includes things like capital allocation, governance, market differentiation, customer retention, margin expansion, and ultimately organizational resilience. At this stage, executive leadership becomes deeply connected to strategic decision-making. Every investment, hiring decision, and operational priority has to support that long-term value creation. And this is especially important in investor-backed and board-driven environments where leadership teams are expected to connect execution directly to enterprise performance. The most effective leaders understand that scaling a business isn't just about growing revenue. It's about building a durable, scalable organization. And then we come to shift 4. The best leaders continue to adapt. One constant across every stage of growth that we've talked about is change. Markets evolve. Technology evolves. Customer expectations evolve. And the leadership has to evolve alongside them. Today, we're seeing this play out rapidly with AI, automation, and enterprise transformation initiatives. The leaders who will create long-term advantage for their companies and their businesses are the ones willing to adapt their thinking, they're willing to challenge assumptions, and they will continuously refine how they lead. Strong leadership is not static, it's situational. The ability to recognize what the business needs in a specific moment, whether that's speed, structure, innovation, or stability, is what separates good leaders from the transformational ones. Leadership evolution is one of the defining factors behind sustainable business growth. Every stage of growth demands a different level of decision-making, communication, operational discipline, and strategic focus. The leaders who recognize those shifts early are the ones who position their organizations to scale successfully and create long-term enterprise value. I encourage every leader to continually evaluate not just how their business is evolving, but how they are evolving alongside it. Are you a leader going through one of these 4 shifts? Please share what steps you're taking or anything else you would add to this perspective.